Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to Stretford Paddock. I'm Adam McCullough. He is Ronaldo Brown. Viva Ronaldo and Viva Manchester United, because Man United beat Istanbul Besiktas here 4-1 today. As you can see right there, goals from Bruno Fernandes, who got two. Marcus Rashford, who scored a penalty. And then, of course, we saw Daniel James score late on in the game to wrap the points up for Manchester United just after Istanbul had got a goal back in the match. Manchester United now have 9 points out of 12 in this season's Champions League. Ronaldo, what did you make of that performance overall today?
I thought that was, first half performance anyway, that has got to be some of the best football that we played in a long, long time.
Would you say it's the best football we've played this season?
I would say so. I don't think that goes without saying either. I think.
Or you think that goes without saying?
Yeah, pretty much. Obviously, sometimes get my sayings wrong. Did you get up to me about that? But obviously, we played well against Leipzig and had spells against teams. But I think for a long, sustained period of decent play, that has got to be up there tonight.
What was it about tonight's game, particularly in the first half, that was what we've wanted from United in comparison to before?
What we've been kind of getting on about is the fact that we start slow in games, and it's a bit, there isn't much fluidity, or not the one or two touch play that we saw today in previous games. It's not been, we've usually playing quite slow, and we don't play that well when we've got a lot of the possession, because we had obviously a large portion of possession today. Sometimes we lack creativity, and none of that was an issue today. I think we were incisive, we were dangerous. I think Van der Beek and his kind of progressive passing was a major from deep areas, which is something that we usually miss out on whenever we play in the likes of Matic, McTominay and Fred in them areas. I think Van der Beek's a better ball player than them, and that makes a huge difference. He can get the ball through to the likes of Bruno in dangerous areas, which is in the hole and in the final third, and that's where obviously he makes his grain, and that's the positions that you want to see Bruno in. And obviously when he gets in those positions, you see what happens. He scores and he usually produces.
Most definitely. He could have had a first half hat-trick today. He shied away from the penalty, but it was something that Rashford and Bruno had decided on after the last game. So it wasn't that was a fresh decision. And you're kind of glad that they stuck to that rather than went back. Actually, Bruno will take it because he's on a hat-trick, although we all wanted him to get that hat-trick. Bruno Fernandes was incredible today. But someone else that has grabbed a lot of the headlines was Donny van der Beek for his performance. What did you think of it? I heard during the half-time show a few comparisons being made to Carrick. I don't know who made those comparisons, but what did you make of the performance? And do you want to see more of him in the starting lineup, i.e. this Sunday?
I thought it was very good today. I thought it was, just as explained, his passing was pivotal. He made us tick. He just showed a little bit of quality in them areas that kind of goes missing with the destroyers that normally play in that part of the field for United. I know a lot of people will try and play down the performance, say that he was only average and he was only okay. But you've got to take into account this is a man that hasn't been getting regular playing football, and football is a game that you need to be playing constantly. You need to be match sharp, you need to be match fit, and he obviously won't be that because he's been bit part since he's come. And to come into a game like that and perform that well, obviously the opposition isn't great, but they have beaten us before. They are in the Champions League, so you got to take that into account. I think it was very promising from what I saw. I think obviously against better opposition, maybe he's not got the defensive side of it. He's not got the physicality or the ability to get about the pitch as much as we might need in the Premier League. But what he's showing you is definitely an option to put in there when you are playing against opposition. What will be lessening you, and you'll be on the ball more because he's incisive, and he made a difference.
He most definitely did. We saw a front three today of Martial, Cavani and Rashford, which on paper is possibly our strongest. Yeah. How do you feel they performed? Obviously, Martial, there's been a lot of talk about him coming into this game. A lot of people wanting to see Cavani start. They got their wish today. What did you make of it?
I think that's our best. As you've just said, front three wides, that's our best. We've not seen Rashford play on the right like that for as long as I can remember. And he looked at home there today. But I know he's got his quality. Whatever you want to say about him, he's got quality. Whether he shows it consistently all the time is a different story, but he definitely has it. And he looked adept at playing there. He's more adept at playing there than most players that we have on the team. I think Greenwood plays there when he comes on, but obviously he'd like to play up front. I think a lot of players would like to play in different positions. Rashford would probably want to play on the left, but his performance on the right today was brilliant, and it looked as if we had a balanced attack because of it. We looked very balanced and dangerous in both sides, because I think what happens a lot with United is all our attacking play usually goes down the left with the likes of Tellez. Sometimes Shaw when he plays, Martial likes to drift out there, Rashford plays out there. Obviously we've got players that like to go down that channel, and then what happens is we play in the likes of Mata, etc. on the right, which like to go in field, and we've got no width on the right, and then you've got Wan-Bissaka overlapping, and he's obviously limited going forward, so there's not really any danger on that side. But I think with Rashford on that side, we basically showed that what happens is a team can be more stretched when you've got dangers on both sides. I think Martial on the left and Rashford on the right shows that. And with Cavani, who's obviously a natural striker up front, he knows the position well. It should provide balance.
I think that's something that we probably see more in the bigger games, and then in other games go to try and keep one of Martial or Cavani on the bench so that we've got someone coming in, most likely to be Cavani. But yeah, Ronnie, thank you for that.
Yeah.
3 wins out of the 4 games. Still not job done though, is it?
It's not job done at all. We can't. We gotta take every game as it comes. Obviously, it sounds like a cliche, but it's correct. We need to kick on and continue, because with Man United, we need to be winning most games, and we definitely need to go Sunday and beat Southampton as well and keep this run going.
Defo. Cheers, Ron. So we've just had Ronnie's thoughts. Now we got out in the house. Obviously, Ronnie was talking about the need for United to kick on in the next game. Is that the kind of performance you want to see us bringing into the Southampton game? You happy with that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you mentioned it before the game that we needed not just a win today. We needed a bit of performance. We needed it against West Brom, really. We needed to come out and continue on from Everton, which we didn't get at the weekend, but definitely did that today. I think Van der Beek, Fred, Bruno, and that front three all linked well together in the first half and played some of the best football we've seen from Man United this season.
They did at times play some of the best football United have seen. And what I liked today was that a lot of the times, and Bruno gets frustrated because of it, you see Martial, whoever's playing up top, get frustrated because of it. There's a big gap in between our midfield and our number 10 or our strikers. And today we saw a lot of times, how many times Bruno with his back to goal, he'd just pop it off, and you'd have another one of the midfielders coming up to join him in that play. And it would automatically bring this kaleidoscope of movement around him, which would then leave the gaps in between the defenders and stuff. It was so important. Why do you think that was better today? Was it because of Donny van der Beek? Was it the opposition? What was it?
I think it was Donny van der Beek. I think he brought something we've been missing in midfield. Someone else to kind of pick up the ball from the back four. Someone else to kind of progress it forward into Bruno, into the forward line. Whereas Bruno, like you mentioned, when he got frustrated at the weekend, he was dropping deeper and deeper, or he was trying more and more things. He was trying the worldie pass where he didn't need to today. Like you said, the one-touch passing was great. I like Donny van der Beek in there. I don't know whether you can use that Van der Beek and Fred against a top-class opposition. I still think you're missing something there defensively. I think that they work well together. I think they do the work rate, but I don't think they're disciplined enough for that to be. Well, we can just play them against Paris in a couple of weeks' time. I don't see us doing that, but it's something we can definitely look at. Up against West Brom and things like that, maybe we need to try that a bit more. Try and get Van der Beek and Bruno on the pitch, because it makes a massive difference. It makes the football so much better.
And the thing about Donny van der Beek is he probably doesn't have the physical attributes to be a number 6. But when we play in games like this where you're not going to be massively pressed, you're not going to be left on your own there all the time, like, it allows him, you just have to use your ability to pass the ball. And whether he plays at 6, 8 or 10, Donny van der Beek is incredibly comfortable with the ball at his feet. I'm liking what I'm seeing from him so far, but I don't think there's any reason to rush him, like you say. My fear would be, and we've seen Ollie do it a number of times, we played well against Newcastle, we'll keep the same team against Chelsea, we played well. Don't get caught into thinking this is the solution. This is a solution. Depending on, it's like what they say in boxing, styles make fights, and it's the same with your midfield.
Yeah, definitely. You can't just play against every week. Like I said, I think I'd like to have seen it against West Brom at the weekend, but against the lower down position, Southampton's going to be a different test at the weekend. He might revert back. I wouldn't be surprised to see McTominay back in the team for that. He's not played the last 2. He came on the weekend but didn't play today. I wouldn't be surprised to see him start alongside Fred. Or Matic as well, but I think that McTominay maybe get back into the team. I'd like to see Van der Beek play more, but you can't fit them all in, and you can't take Bruno out of the team at the minute because he's unbelievable.
How good is Bruno Fernandes?
We had a chat on the watch along. He's up there with the best midfielders in the world. There isn't many in his position that you'd swap in and take. I said before the game, maybe before the season, I think De Bruyne has been at that level and been the best player in the world in that kind of position, but he's had a bit of a dip in form. Bruno's been banging in the goals. I wouldn't swap him out, especially in the way we play. I don't think you could have Kevin De Bruyne in the system as much as the way Bruno does it. And at this moment in time, I wouldn't swap him in that position for anyone else in the world.
He is an incredible player, and he's proven to be a bargain at this rate.
Yeah.
It was also nice to see Daniel James getting a goal towards the end. Saw him score for Wales as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't think anyone's suggesting he's the kind of player that should be starting week in, week out for United.
No.
But he could be a valuable squad member, and to see him get a goal, that's always nice.
He could, and for as much as people can say that it was the fourth goal, the game was dead and things like that, do you know what? They're the kind of goals that killed that. I mean, it was very much towards the end of the game, but it properly killed the game. That if that had happened 5 minutes before that, you could have just gone, we're fine. We're not gonna. It's not gonna go 3-2, even if it goes 4-2.
Because you were worrying on the watch. I went.
It only makes it 3-2, and it means them last 5 minutes are a bit more worrying. But you saw when Greenwood got the ball there and went past his man, Raphael kind of looked at him and went, I'm not chasing him back. There's no chance I'm catching him. And that's where Dan James is dangerous. So when you need a goal, when you need to stretch the play, when you need to kind of pin back a fullback when there's a bit of pressure on you, Dan James is good at that because you can't catch him once he goes. And it was a calm, one-on-one with the keeper. It was a calm finish for someone that's not scored many goals and hasn't had the best of times. So really happy to see Dan James score. Yeah,
it was a good time, all out, all concerned for United. 4-1 win. Obviously, we never got a clean sheet, but 3 wins out of 4 now in the Champions League. How are you feeling moving forward?
Good, but we needed that one.
It's not over though yet, is it?
It's not over. At home to Paris next. I think a point gets us through. I'd like to see it done before we go to RB Leipzig. I think that would be good. But do you know what? It's a lot less pressure now because if you get to the last game or something, if you'd have needed to get 4 points out of the last 2 games, I feel like that's been very, very nervous. And if you hadn't won today, it kind of wastes the 2 good performances against Leipzig and PSG. But now that you've got 9 points out of, we're top of a group with the Champions League finalists and Champions League semi-finalists from last season. We're doing all right.
Therefore, we are doing all right. And Alex, you have done all right today. Thank you very much for your help. Make sure you keep me liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing as well. Keep it locked. We've got so much more coming. See you in a bit. Head over to stretfordpaddock.bigcartel.com and check out the Paddock merch. And for a short time, you can get 20% off orders with 2 items or more using the code Paddock20. Go get on it.